Hello and welcome to today's lesson. My name is Anna English. That's right, English is my middle name and I am English. So I'm here now coming to you live from London. I hope that you are all well wherever you are in the world, whatever time of day it is with you now. Here it is 6:20 and I'm very happy to be joining you this evening to teach you a little lesson about pets. So we're talking about animals, but specifically about pets that are very popular here in the UK. As always, I have my patron group here, so let's just say a quick hello to my patrons. Hello patrons, how are you? I think I just have a couple of you in here, but lovely of you to join me. If you have any questions throughout the lesson, all you have to do is ask and I will answer. Of course, there's also the live chat room here as well in YouTube. I will answer as many comments as I can, but I can't guarantee that I will see all of them as there are many of you here and many comments come through. So don't think I'm ignoring you. If I don't read out your message, it's just impossible to answer everybody. As always, I've also put together some notes which we'll be working with as we go through the lesson. And to anyone who is kind enough to support this channel with a super chat, will be sent those notes afterwards. All you have to do once you've done a super chat is send me your email address via the email in the description of this video and I will send those notes over to you. So, thank you very much everyone who is here, all your kind comments so far coming through. But without further ado, let's get started with today's English lesson. So, here we go. Let me just scroll back up here. So, animals. Animals. Now, one of you has already asked me, what does pet mean? Well, luckily I've put a definition here for you. So, a pet is a noun. It means a domestic or tamed animal kept for companionship or for pleasure. So, basically an animal that you keep in your home, or an animal that you have kept on your property. Maybe it lives in the garden, maybe it lives in the house with you, but it's an animal that you look after, that relies on you for food and warmth and water, and you have them in your house or in your garden and you keep hold of them and look after them. So I guess first of all I should ask, do you have any pets? And while you're letting me know if you have any pets, I will also tell you that the word pet can be an action as well. So to pet can be a verb. If I basically do this, if I put my hands on your head, I am petting you. If I'm stroking you, that can also be known as petting, to give a little pet. So with an animal, if you have a baby dog here, for example, and you're stroking the dog, you are petting the dog. Or if you go to stroke a horse at the fence, you're petting the horse. So to have a pet as a noun is an animal you keep, and to pet as a verb is to stroke or touch an animal. Or a person, you could pet a person, I guess. So Ivan, you have a pet, you have a dog, her name is Bobby. Lovely, very nice. Good evening, Anna, says Julia. Hello, Julia, how are you? And good evening, world, from me and my fluffy Achille. Achille? What is a chili, Achille, is this the name of the animal, Julia? Or is this a type of animal? Human animals. My cat's name is Garfield, says Vandally. Vandally has a cat called Garfield. I used to love a cartoon about a cat called Garfield when I was younger. Let's see what my patrons are saying. Hello, Christina. Nice of you to join us. Hello, Eric. Hello, Dennis. Hello, Jay. Jay says, at my house, we have 6 dogs. Wow. Are you like dog breeders or something? Why do you have 6 dogs? That must be a very energetic household. And hello, Andreas. How are you? Nice of you to join as well. Lots of you have dogs and cats. My girlfriend is always petting me, says Adolfo. Great. Theo Theos says, I have a pet rock. A pet rock. A pet rock is a good pet because it doesn't need much watering, feeding, or looking after. But they're not very good for cuddles. Quite cold and firm. All right, so let's get back to the worksheet, shall we? So, in the UK, we are a nation of pet lovers. We're a nation of pet lovers, so we really love our pets here in the UK. And they say over 12 million people in the UK have a pet. Over 12 million people in the UK have a pet. In fact, I found this figure from a report that was done many years ago, maybe 5 years old, so there's probably a lot more than 12 million people have pets here in the UK. And we consider them to be a part of the family. So they're not just animals for us, they are a member of the family. That's how much we love them. We treat them like a member of the family, and we spend an awful lot of money on our pets. In fact, I was reading a report today that said that most British people, a lot of British people, love their pets more than they love their children, which is slightly horrifying, really. But there is something about a pet that is just unconditional love that you get from a pet. I guess many parents can have difficult relationships with their children, especially once their children grow up, if they have a clash of personalities. But with an animal, the animal just loves you because you feed it and you pet it and you give it everything it needs. So the animal will love you unconditionally, and it doesn't give you any back chat. So I can believe it. I can believe the report that says, I think it's like 1 in 3 pet owners love their pets more than their children. Okay, let's have a look, see what you guys are saying over here on my Patreon Skype group. We love dogs. I have a clever dog, Mr. Fox, and a cat, and they are good friends. Oh, I love it when dogs and cats are friends with each other. That's wonderful. Oh, and there's a picture here of a little pussycat. Shall we see if we can see that? Let's have a bigger look. Oh no, you can't see that. You can't see that when that comes up. Oh, but that's a very sweet looking cat. And they are like our security guards. So your dogs are like your security guards. And we don't have children, so they are like our children. Lovely. Thank you, Andreas, for the photo. It was very sweet. Very sweet indeed. So let's carry on, shall we? Oh, Zahir has a chicken. Great. My mum used to have a chicken. I've never had a chicken, but my mum used to have a chicken. Good for getting fresh eggs in the morning. So let's have a look. So questions that you might ask somebody. Talking about animals in the UK is a great icebreaker. It's a good conversation starter because everybody either has a story about an animal, has some sort of experience with an animal or a pet. So it's a very good subject to touch on if you don't know what to say to somebody. You could always try to talk about pets. And some of the questions you could ask are, do you have any pets? And I might say, yes, actually, I have a dog, or I have a cat, or I have a fish. Or I might say, no, I don't have any pets. I wish I did. You might say, have you ever had any pets? So, did you have any pets in the past? Have you ever had any pets? See, Sky says, can I ask, did you ever have, not had, did you ever have a pet? So just change the verb there, have, not had, and that's perfect, Sky. So, did you ever have a pet? Have you ever had a pet? And I could say, well, I used to, and this is true, I don't have any pets now. So if you said to me, do you have any pets, Anna? I'd say, no, I don't have any pets. And you could say, did you ever have any pets, Anna? And I could say, yes. Up until Christmas time, early spring, I had 2 cats. Their names were Dylan and Simba, and I loved them very, very much. But unfortunately, they're no longer with us. It made me very sad. But I did love them and they made me very happy at the time, so I don't regret having them. So, what other questions can we ask around pets? You could say, would you ever consider getting a pet? So to consider is to think about. Would you ever think about, would you ever consider getting a pet? And I might say, I would love to have a pet, but because I live in rented accommodation, I can't have a pet. So it's the case generally in England, in the UK, in London specifically, I know. It's hard to find rented accommodation where they allow you to have a pet because they think pets will make the house messy, that they'll make it smell, that they might scratch the skirting boards or scratch the floors. And so in most rented accommodation, you're not allowed to have a pet. So I cannot have a pet, although I would consider getting a pet if I moved into my own place. But that's not likely to happen. So not for now. I will not consider getting a pet for a long time. You might say, would you take a rescue animal? Would you take a rescue animal? So over here in the UK, there are many sanctuaries and places that take in stray animals or injured animals, abandoned and neglected animals, like the charity, the RSPCA, the Royal Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, the RSPCA. And once they've looked after the animal, they've brought them back to health and they've rehabilitated them and they think they are safe to go back into a home, to be rehomed, then members of the public can come and adopt the animal and take them home. I've been a few times and I always want to adopt all the animals. I go in, I say, I'll take them all, but I can't, obviously, because I live in a rented accommodation. But yes, a lot of people here take rescue animals and give them a second chance to have a nice, happy life. And yes, it's a wonderful thing to do. But some people wouldn't want a rescue animal. Some people want a new animal that they can train from being a puppy or a kitten or a very small young animal. You could also simply ask, do you like animals? Do you like animals? And most people would say yes. They'd tell you what animal particularly they like. So tell me, what is your favourite animal and what would you love to have as a pet? If there was no limits, what animal would you have as a pet if you could? I think I would love to have an elephant as a pet. I think elephants are really clever and wise and majestic animals, and I would love to have an animal in my home or living in my garden. I think that would be really good fun. So what animal would you love to have? And if you're not watching this live, then do tell me in the comments box below. I'm always interested to learn more about my viewers. And if you're here for the very first time, hello, welcome. I'm so glad you found us. Please make sure that you press the subscribe button so that you don't miss any future lessons. And if you are here and you have subscribed, make sure you press the bell notification button so that you are always here on time for these live lessons in future. And if you are here, come on guys, you know how much I like a thumb. So if you're an animal lover, then show the love for the animals by giving this video a big fat thumb. So lots of you saying you love animals, lots of you saying you love dogs, cats, elephants, jaguars, rabbits. I'm sorry, I can't read your name because it's not written in characters I recognise, but one of you has said you would love to have a dinosaur as a pet. Awesome. I mean, it depends which dinosaur. It might be a bit scary, but awesome. Lots of people in Hong Kong, you'd like to have a dog, but you live in an apartment, so you can't have one. Oh dear, never mind. Maybe you have to move and then get a dog, or walk somebody else's dog. That's something we do here in London. We hire our dogs out for walks so other people can have a go on the dog. Mask would like to have a lion. Rawr. Good. Mustafa would like to have rats. Fabulous. Krishna says, in Kerala, in India, a few people own elephants and they are sometimes donated to temples. So if I move to India, I can have a pet elephant. I mean, probably elephants shouldn't really be kept as pets because they're quite big and they need a lot of space. But well, I do love elephants very, very much. Some of you saying you love to have a tortoise, love to have a tiger, you'd have a pet whale, a chicken. Amazing. What are my patrons saying? Patrons are saying, I have 3 dogs, says Christina. I have 3 dogs, but I'd like to have a horse. I find them elegant. Maybe it sounds unusual. Not at all. There are many people. In fact, I have some friends who have pet horses, so they can go riding on a regular basis. And horses are lovely. It's a lot of work to keep a horse, but they are really lovely. Right, let's see how many thumbs we've got. Am I going to like this? Oh, only 62. Oh dear. Oh dear. Not many animal lovers here then. Only 62 animal lovers. I thought it would be more than that. Oh, 63. Beg your pardon, 63. Oh, 64. There we go. I'll just let that go up a little bit. Okay, so let's carry on, shall we? So those are some of the questions you can ask, and I promise you that most British people are more than happy to talk about animals. It's a great conversation starter. So what are the most common pets in the UK? Well, in the UK, as probably most of you would already have guessed, out of all the animal owners, about 24% of the UK population own a dog. So about 24% of the population own a dog. I have definitely been brought up surrounded by dogs. We mostly had Rottweilers when I was little. We had a Doberman at one point, and I've had a German Pointer and a Vizsla. So all big dogs that I grew up with, all very gentle, beautiful temperaments, lovely dogs. So I'm very much a dog lover myself because I grew up with dogs. And then the next most popular animal is a cat. There are 17% of the population are cat owners here in the UK. I've always loved cats as well. From being young, we also had cats in our household, and I obviously had 2 cats myself recently. But people say to you, they generally ask, are you a dog lover or a cat lover? Like you have to be one or the other. But I honestly, I'm split between the two. So they'll say, are you a dog person or are you a cat person? Are you a dog lover or a cat lover? And I'm honestly, I can't choose one or the other. I love both of them equally. So yes, I am a crazy cat lady, and I also love dogs. How about you? Are you a cat person or a dog person? Which one do you prefer? Oh, we have 76 animal lovers here in the room now. 76 thumbs up, representing the animal lovers in the room. Okay, let's carry on. So what else do we have? We have dogs and cats. We have fish that are kept indoors. So a fish that is kept indoors is kept in what we call a fish tank. Fish tank. And the fish tank will normally have a pump that keeps it oxygenated. And then also you have outdoor fish, and the fish outside are kept in a pond. They're kept in a pond. And in the pond you might have a pump. You probably have a pump to keep the water oxygenated for the fish. But you also may have some plants that produce oxygen as well. So, oh bless. So Strongwit have just sent a super chat. Thank you very much. As you know, Strongwit, anyone who sends a super chat, which is a donation towards the growth of this channel, then you will be receiving these notes that I have made. So just drop me a message. I think you're a patron, aren't you, Strongwit? So just drop me a message on Patreon and I'll send you those notes. Otherwise, you can drop me an email and I'll send those notes straight over to you. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind of you. Let's carry on. So we have, yes, indoor fish and outdoor fish. Some people keep rabbits, and rabbits are kept in hutches. So you keep a rabbit in a hutch. A hutch, it's usually, or some form of a pen. But I would use pen more to describe where you'd keep a pig. But a hutch normally has a little area for, like a dark covered area with straw or hay for them to sleep in. And then you'll have a run around area with some like breathable holes, usually some chicken wire so they can see through into the outdoors. And I used to keep rabbits when I was very little. They had a big outdoor pen or hutch, and yes, I loved my rabbits very much. One of my rabbits was called Thumper, like the rabbit from Bambi from Disney. Oh, Julia, bless you. Thank you so much. So Julia's also sent a super chat. That is very kind of you, my darling. Julia is also a gold member. So Julia has me on WhatsApp. So I will drop you a little message afterwards, Julia, to say a huge personal thank you. It's very, very kind of you guys. So, have you ever had a fish, indoor or outdoor, or a rabbit? Or do you have any of these little animals that we sometimes have? Sometimes the people in the UK like to keep guinea pigs. Guinea pigs are very small and they normally live inside in some form of a cage. And that's the same for hamsters. Hamsters and guinea pigs are very similar, but I think a guinea pig is a little bit bigger. I do have some pictures of hamsters and guinea pigs to show you, just in case you're confused. But they're furry, they're very cute, they nibble, and you can hold them in your hands, they're so small. And they stay normally in the house in a little cage. So, does anyone here have? Julia, I know that you have like a hamster or something. Am I right? And did you say that on WhatsApp at some point? That you have a little furry something or other? What is it? Is it a hamster or is it guinea pig? Some people also will keep reptiles. So we're talking about like snakes or lizards. Snakes or lizards. In fact, and they will live in a tank, similar to a fish tank, but usually it's a heated tank. So reptiles can't produce their own body heat, so they'll need some sort of lamp that keeps them warm. It's very important. My dad has a little dragon. I'm not sure what the full name is of it is. It's about this big. It's a dragon, a kimono. No, not a kimono dragon. I don't know what it's called, but it's a little dragon and its name is Elvis. So my dad has a dragon called Elvis and it lives in a tank in their front room. And he takes it out and he sits it on his chest and he strokes it, he pets it and gives it a cuddle. It's not my cup of tea, but you know, each to their own. Oh, lots of you coming up with some very interesting animals here that you keep as pets. Like doves, hedgehogs. Wow. Camels. My goodness, sheep. Wow. So interesting. So interesting. Okay, so, and let's carry on. So, some people also keep domestic fowl, and this would be like chickens. Like I said, my mum used to have a chicken, or a few chickens. I think it's hard in the UK to keep chickens because we have a lot of foxes. So the foxes, unfortunately, will tend to come and kill all the chickens as soon as they get wind of them. Once they smell the chickens, they know the chickens are there, they'll come and they'll kill them. And so most of the people that I know that keep chickens have a terrible time trying to stop the chickens getting got by the foxes. You can put them in cages and you can try to protect them, but the foxes, they're very cunning and they can dig underneath the fences and they find their way into the cages, the areas, safe areas, and kill the chickens. So it's hard to keep chickens. You have to have a proper setup to keep chickens safe. So yes, we have lost some chickens recently, but let's stay on nice and more positive thoughts and carry on. So those are the most popular animals in the UK, but I'm going to talk in more depth about cats and dogs. Okay? Oh, look at this little puppy. See, when you talk about puppies, you have to do it in a very silly baby voice like I just did. Yo, puppy, puppy. Not really. So, of course, this is a beautiful little doggy. And what I'm going to talk about first are the types of names that you might use when talking about a dog. As you just heard me say there, I said the word doggy. Doggy is just a cutesy way. Cutesy is kind of just like a childish or cute way of saying dog. Now, bear in mind the word cute. So I see the word cute being thrown around a lot to describe attractive people, but this is not really the right use of the word. So Americans say cute a lot. Wow, he's so cute. Wow, she's cute. But in British English, we don't really. Cute in British English tends to be reserved for talking about animals. So if you think an animal is like, oh, then you think the animal is cute. It looks gorgeous. It makes you go gooey. It's a cute animal. And we also use cute when we're talking about children. So, oh, he looks so cute in that. So if we talk about a child looking sweet, then we say the child looks cute. But when we're talking about an attractive adult, cute is not really the right word. You'd better say attractive or beautiful or stunning or handsome. Okay? So just a little note there for you. So, one of my patrons saying, I'm seeing pictures coming through here. Wow, look at this. That's so sweet. See, that's cute. That's cute. A little cat watching TV. A cat watching English like a native. I hope so. How sweet. Okay, so let's carry on. So yes, I said doggy. Doggy is a cutesy kind of way of referring to a dog. So, oh, little doggy. Oh, I want a doggy. So it's just a cutesy way. It's not formal. It's a very informal way of talking about a dog. A very formal technical word for a dog is a canine. You won't hear this very often, but yes, canine. In fact, let me just double check that I've spelt that correctly for you. Yes, I have. And it's relating to dogs. So you might see the word canine in the news when we're talking about the canine population, for example, rather than saying the dog population, say the canine population. Okay. Sometimes you would hear a dog being referred to as a mutt. A mutt. A mutt is not a very nice way to talk about a dog. I would never describe a dog as a mutt. But a mongrel, a mutt is another word for mongrel. You'll see mongrel is on the list as well. And a mongrel is like a mixed breed. So if you have a Chihuahua who is bred with a poodle, then that is a mongrel. Or if you have, and it's not pedigree, if it's not pedigree, so it's happened by accident, or if a Labrador who's also been crossed with a poodle, so it's a Labradoo is what they call them, a Labradoo, then also breeds with an Alsatian, then that is a mongrel. The dog that comes out of that is a mongrel or a mutt. So it's not a pure breed. Okay? And people use those words in quite an unpleasant way. Like say, get that mutt out of here. Or I don't want that mongrel. They're not nice words. I would never refer to a dog as a mongrel or a mutt. But technically, a mongrel is a crossbreed. It's nicer just to say a crossbreed. But usually crossbreed is used when it's been purposely done. If you purposely try to mix breeds, then you call them a crossbreed. If they have pure breed, they haven't been crossed when they've been bred, then they are pedigree. They are pedigree dogs. Pedigree dogs are very expensive. A dog that doesn't have a home and isn't in a charity, like with a charity like the RSPCA, is a stray dog. So if you see a dog on the streets, doesn't have a collar on, doesn't have an owner, that's a stray dog. Stray dogs tend to be picked up here in the UK. They don't tend to stay stray. Normally they get picked up by someone. Oh, lots of pictures coming through. Oh, bless. How cute is that? Oh, oh, I miss my cats now. Miss my catties. Okay, sorry, lots of comments coming through here on the YouTube feed. I'm sorry I can't answer everybody. Let's just get through this and then I'll try to answer your questions. So sometimes you could also refer to it, sorry, as a pooch. A pooch. It's just another word like doggy, a pooch. A baby dog is a puppy. A baby dog is a puppy. So this little cutie here is a puppy. Some dogs are hounds. It depends on the breed, but some dogs are hounds. And sometimes we refer to them as our four-legged friends. They're also referred to as man's best friend. So if I say to you, you know, you can't beat man's best friend, you know I'm saying you can't beat a dog. You can't beat man's best friend. It's always a dog. No matter whether you prefer cats or dogs, a man's best friend is always a dog. Okay? Great. Oh, do we have 100 thumbs yet? Yay, we have 100 thumbs. Now I don't feel like poo. Now I feel the love because we have so many animal lovers here. Thank you, guys. And if you are here and you're not yet a subscriber, then please do press subscribe. And if you know anyone who loves animals and loves English, then do share this lesson with them as well. So let's get carrying on. So we have actions that a dog might do. Feel free to add in any words if you feel like I've missed something out. But we have to wag. A dog will wag its tail. So to wag is the shaking back and forth of the tail. That is a wag. Usually when a dog is happy, it wags its tail like this. And the tail's going back and forth. It wags its tail. And there's a song that children sing over here, which is, how much is that doggy in the window? Woof, woof, the one with the waggly tail. Yeah? I do want that doggy in the window. I do hope that doggy's for sale. All right, enough singing. So to wag your tail is the movement of the tail back and forth. A dog, of course, will go for a run. Hopefully the dog will not run off. If you let it off the lead, it might run off or run away. But you don't want to do that. Oh no, did I write man's best man? Thank you for spotting that, guys. I haven't actually had dinner this evening, so I'm a little bit hungry. And I'm likely to make mistakes, so do keep me in check. So, a dog is likely to run. If it's not running, then it's walking. So you often have to take your dog for a walk. So many people go out to walk their dogs and they'll meet other dog owners. There are professional people who are dog walkers. People who come round to the owner's house. Say if I owned a dog, I might pay someone while I'm at work to come to the house and walk my dog for me and leave the dog back at home. Yeah? So to walk the dog, you are a dog walker. I used to be a dog walker for 2 months when I first came back to London many years ago. And I had no job, so I was like, what can I do? I can walk dogs. And so I walked people's dogs as my job for a little while. So you might hear, when talking about walking a dog, you might hear people asking the dog to heel. Heel. And this means to get the dog to walk alongside you, to stay with you and walk with you. So to walk at heel, at your heel. So if you ask the dog to heel, you're asking the dog to walk with you rather than pulling ahead or lagging behind. Okay? People talking about the weather behind me. You can see the leaves shaking. It's a little windy here in the UK. It's been a bit stormy. You could say, oh, actually, do you know what? It is raining cats and dogs. That's what it's doing. It's raining cats and dogs. I didn't realise it started to rain. But when it rains a lot, we say it's raining cats and dogs. So it actually is. Especially for you. I brought the rain. So a dog might yank on the lead, might yank. And to yank is to pull. So I might say to you, look, I don't want to walk this big Alsatian because it keeps yanking on the lead and it's hurting my shoulder. Or it's too strong for me. When the dog yanks, it nearly pulls me over. So to yank on the lead. And you might yank the dog lead back. To yank on the lead, to pull. The dog also would shake, perhaps. If the dog is upset, then it might shake. If the dog is cold, it might shake. But also if the dog gets wet, have you ever had it? The dog gets wet, it's had a bath or it's been in the rain, it'll come into the house, it'll wait till it's right in the middle of the room and then it goes and it shakes the water everywhere. You're like, no. One of you's just asked me, what is a lead? A lead is the leash or the tie that you have between the dog collar and you. So the rope that holds you to the dog. A lead. We call it a lead, or more American, but we do use it here too, is a leash. A leash. Okay? Let's carry on. Okay, so you'd also ask the dog to sit. It's one of the commands you would give a dog. Sit, sit, sit. And hopefully the dog will sit down. The dog, you might actually say to the dog, lie down, and then it lies down. And then you might say, roll over. If the dog can roll over, then the dog can do tricks. The dog can do tricks. Of course, you might like to stroke the dog. That's the more common word for petting. To pet the dog, we would more often say stroke the dog. So if you have a dog, I might say, oh, do you mind if I stroke your dog? Can I stroke your dog? I wouldn't ask to pet the dog. We don't use that word that often. When you're out with your dog, you might try to teach it to fetch. To fetch is to retrieve. So if I throw a stick for the dog in the park, I might say to the dog, fetch, which means go and get the stick and bring it back to me. Fetch, go fetch, go fetch. The embarrassing things that a lot of dogs do is to hump. To hump. So this is when a dog gets sexually excited. Maybe it likes your leg or your arm. And it comes up and it wraps its arms, its four legs around you, and it starts humping you. And usually it's when you're with strangers or you have polite company and then the dog's just doing this and you're like, this is so embarrassing, please stop. There was one day when I was dog walking, I had this lovely little doggy, teeny little doggy, and he didn't like to be in the back seat, so I let him be in the front seat, but I tied him up with his lead. I tied him to the seatbelt so he couldn't go out the window or anything. And then one day I'm driving and he just decides, he'd never done it before, but he decides he really fancied my arm. He really liked my arm. And he just suddenly latched onto my arm. I'm trying to drive and he's there doing this on my arm. He was humping my arm and I was terrified. I was like, get off my arm! I'm trying to drive. It was awful. So after that, he always was in the back seat. No more humping my arm. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, a dog might jump up if they're excited and you might have to tell them, don't jump up. No jumping. No jumping up. Okay? Dogs also have a habit of gnawing. To gnaw. This is a silent G. It's just an N sound. Gnaw. Gnaw. To gnaw is to chew. So dogs tend to chew on furniture, walls even, doors. So they gnaw like this. Lots of you laughing at my little story. Well, I'm glad you're finding it entertaining. It was horrifying at the time. Let's see what's happening here. Oh wow, a pet pig. Goodness me. A police pig is looking for drugs. Can you believe it? Really? A sniffer pig. And a pig walker. That's funny. It's raining cats and dogs, so don't step in the poodles. Ha ha ha. Very funny, Dennis. In my country, there are lots of stray dogs. Some people get dogs and then don't feed them anymore, and because of it, they will leave those houses and become a bit wild, and they can bite you. It's really sad. Which country are you in, Christina? Oh, you're in Romania. Oh, that is sad. We need to take the RSPCA over to Romania. Get those dogs looked after. Get them sorted out and get them into new homes. Okay, so dogs gnaw. They also groom, and to groom is to kind of clean yourself, to groom, and they lick themselves, don't they, to clean themselves. They also drool. I hate it when dogs drool, and this is basically when they dribble, when they've just got saliva dripping out of their mouth, and it swings like this, and you don't want them to come near you because you don't want the drool to go on you. I tend to call this slobber. I might say he's a slobber dog. If a dog slobbers. So imagine you've got a really drooly dog. It's got all drool here. He sees you, he's very excited, and he comes up and he goes like this and licks you and leaves you covered in saliva. That means he's just slobbered on you. He's just slobbered on you. It's quite an informal way of talking about dogs, but it is what we say. Dogs also dig, don't they? They dig holes and they chase. They tend to chase cats, or they'll chase balls, or they'll chase leaves. They chase anything. They chase other dogs. So noises that dogs make. Dogs bark. Obviously, the sound they make is woof, but to make that sound, they bark. So when they bark, they make a woof sound. If you hurt a dog will yelp. Arr! So that's a yelp. So a hurt dog yelps. Yelps in pain. They might also whine or whinge. In fact, let me just check this for you. To whinge. Yeah, to whinge. So if I was to say whine, spelled like that, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, let me add this to the list. So this is to whinge, but actually what I want to say is whine. It's probably better. To whine. So to whine is like that kind of noise. That's a whine. You might say to the dog, please stop whining, or you might tell the owner you have to keep the dog quiet. If he whines all night, I won't get any sleep. So please keep the dog quiet. Stop it from whining. The dog might also, if it's not happy, then it might warn you with a growl. So if the dog is not happy, it will give a warning with a growl. The dog, when it's too hot, will pant. And sometimes a dog will howl, which is "Arr!" That's a howl. Okay, I think that's pretty straightforward. Let's carry on. So, parts of a dog. You can talk about the dog's tail, which is the end of the dog, the long bit at the end, which wags. Oh, Anson, you just made a good one. So to whine or to whimper. Good. Yes, whine and whimper, they're pretty similar. To be sad, it's basically like a dog crying. It's to whimper or to whine. Good. So back to parts. We have a dog tail. The fur on a dog is called its coat. So you might say, when you're looking for a dog, I want a dog with short haired. I don't want it to molt, so I want it to have a nice, clean coat. And also you want your dog to have a healthy coat. A healthy coat. And it's just basically talking about its fur. So it has a thick coat. It doesn't get cold outside. It's fine to live in the garden, in a dog house in the garden. But its coat. We talk about its legs, and when we talk about legs, we talk about the forelegs, which are the front legs, and the hind legs, which are the back legs. You might talk about the muzzle, which is basically the nose and mouth, the bit that protrudes, the muzzle, the nose and mouth. If a dog wears a muzzle, it means it wears something around its mouth and nose to stop it from biting, to wear a muzzle. Its paws, obviously, are its feet, paws. Its whiskers are the very coarse hairs that come out of its cheeks. Its whiskers. Although dogs don't have such obvious whiskers like cats do. You might talk about their fangs when you're talking about their teeth. They also have claws. Now, if a dog has been to the vet to have the snip, it means, or to be castrated is the technical term. To have castration or to be castrated means it can no longer have children. So a male dog will have had its testicles cut off or its balls removed, less formal. And I think female dogs can also be castrated as well. So most dogs will be recommended that they are castrated when they're young, so they can't breed and come out of control. We don't want to have huge amounts of cats and dogs straying around the streets, roaming around the streets. Sky Blue has just mentioned the lyrics to a song that I love. Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, bright copper kettles and warm woolen mittens. Anybody know this song? You get 10 points if you can name the song. Da 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 dum da 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 dum. Let's carry on till somebody knows. So, sayings involving the word dog. We can have to be in the doghouse. To be in the doghouse is basically somebody's angry with you. So if you are my husband and you've done something wrong, like you've turned up late for our romantic dinner that we've had planned for weeks, and I've cooked everything, I've been cooking all day, I've been slaving away over this dinner, and you turn up late, I'm angry with you. Me being angry with you means that you are in the doghouse. You're in the doghouse because I'm angry with you. It's like sending the dog outside into the garden to be in its house. Get out, I don't want to see you anymore. So you're ignoring that person is in the doghouse. So just to go back to that, I might see that you and your partner are not getting on very well, and I might say to you, what's going on? Is everything all right? And you might say, oh, I'm in the doghouse. I forgot our romantic dinner, so I'm in the doghouse. Okay, so it's just your way of saying she's angry with me because I've done something wrong. As I said earlier, it could be raining cats and dogs. That just means it's raining very heavily. You can keep somebody on a tight leash. Oh, I've said that wrong. On a tight leash. That should be a leash. Leash. To keep someone on a tight leash, it means to not allow someone to go too far away from you, or to keep checking on somebody. So if you don't have much freedom to do something because someone's always checking on you, maybe it's your boss or maybe it's your partner, then you could say they keep me on a tight leash. So they keep you in check. They don't allow you too much freedom. Oh, Anil says it's a boring topic today. Well, if you don't like animals, you don't have to watch the lesson. But there are plenty of other lessons here. So if you don't like this topic, then I'm sure there's something that you will find of interest somewhere else. Just check on the video backlog and you can have a scroll through all the previous videos. But I'm sorry you find it boring. Anyway, let's carry on. So, keep somebody on a tight leash. You can also say that his bark is worse than his bite. His bark is worse than his bite. This means that somebody sounds aggressive or sounds angry, but actually they're not that bad. So if someone is always shouting, I want my dinner, I'm very angry, it means that they sound angry. Their bark is worse than their bite, but they would never actually be mean to someone, or they have a big heart and they're actually a very lovely person. It just means that they sound angry. Their bark is worse than their bite. Okay? So then you might have the saying, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. You can't teach an old dog new tricks. And this basically means if somebody is old and set in their ways, that means they are used to doing stuff in a certain way, they have their beliefs, they will not change. You can't teach them to change their habits. Of course, I don't believe that's true, but it is a saying that you can't teach an old dog new tricks. Okay, let's carry on. Now, we have been going for a while. We've been going for 55 minutes, but we've just got a little bit more to do and then we'll be done, okay? So if you are here for the first time, please do press subscribe. And if you are enjoying this, then please do press the thumb up button. Just so I know what works for people, what people do like. So here we've got this beautiful little cat wearing a special little neck scarf. Bless it, very cute. There's that word again, cute. And different ways you can refer to a cat. The cutesy way, like doggy, is kitty. Ah, oh, little kitty cat, a kitty. A baby cat is a kitten. A very silly way of referring to a cat is a puss. Oh, puss, puss. Oh, little puss, puss, puss. So sometimes we say that, although these are very informal ways of talking. You might call it a pussycat. You might call a person a pussycat. If a person is very gentle and soft and lovely, then you might say, oh, he's a pussycat, really. He's a pussycat. His bark is worse than his bite, but really he's a pussycat. Technically, just like a canine, we talk about cats referring to feline. So we might talk about our feline friends. That means our friends that are cats. A tomcat is a male cat. So I might say to you, I have a tomcat, I have a male cat. And a ginger tom is just a male cat that is ginger. I had a ginger tom and he was beautiful. So here are a few actions that you can talk about with cats. Cats climb trees, cats climb curtains. Oh, it looks like somebody got the name of the song I was singing. It's from The Sound of Music. Yes, you're right, Adriana, well done. Okay, so then you can groom or clean, just like the same with a dog. They chase. They flick their tail, so they don't wag their tail. A cat doesn't wag its tail, but it might flick its tail. And usually when a cat's flicking its tail, it means it's angry. If it flicks, if it's nice and soft, it's fine, but if it flicks, it means it's irritated, apparently. A cat would greet you if it's a nice cat and it loves you, or greet you. Cats leap, they jump, they lick, they roam. To roam is to walk around a lot. You roam. They like to have a big area to roam in. So we don't keep them on a leash or a lead. We let them go free. Some cats are kept indoors. If they're house cats, they're kept indoors, but most are allowed to go in and out via the cat flap. So most houses with the cats will have a cat flap. It's a little door in the door for the cat to go through. Cats will also do a lot of stretching, and they tend to like to curl up on your lap. Your lap is the top of your thighs, so a cat will sit on your lap and you stroke the cat. One of you asking, if you leave now, will you be able to watch it later? Yes, all these videos stay on my channel, so you can always catch up a bit later. Okay, so don't worry, you won't miss anything. Just click back later on and see you then. Okay, let's carry on with cat noises. So cats make a hiss if they're angry. They do a like this. They generally meow. Meow, meow. So meow. Or this is also referred to as mew. Now I know that a lot of natives don't know this word, but I do. A cat mews. It's just a soft cry of a cat. Cats, when they're happy, purr, and this purring is the kind of vibrating sound they do. That kind of vibration sound. So that's a purr, spelt with 2 R's. And you can also say the cat cries. Cat cries. very similar to a meow, but it tends to be a bit more persistent. A cat cry. A cat cry. Okay, so then we have, obviously like with dogs, they have claws, paws, they have a coat or cat fur. You might talk about the grab the cat by the scruff of the neck. You can have this with the dog as well, but if they're talking about the scruff, oh, can I show you? Can I show you? It's the back of the neck there. It's where you grab the cat, where a mother would grab its kitten. It bites them at the scruff of the neck and lifts them up, and that's the scruff of the neck. So you might say it's safer to lift a cat by the scruff of the neck. I mean, I don't, I lift them up like this. But some people say lift the cat by the scruff of the neck. Get it by the scruff of the neck. And cats also have whiskers, of course. Nice long whiskers. And we might say with cats, curiosity killed the cat. And that is just a saying to kind of discourage people from being too nosy. Someone who is constantly being curious. Maybe they're curious about climbing things and getting on the roof. And you might say, look, curiosity killed the cat. It's dangerous to be too curious. You could hear the phrase, cat's got your tongue. Oh, the cat's got your tongue. This means when you can't get the words out, when you can't speak, you'll go, and you'll say, what's the matter? Has the cat got your tongue? You say, yes, the cat's got my tongue. You might also hear the phrase, you look like something the cat's dragged in. You look like something the cat's dragged in. Oh, that should be cats with an S, hang on. Cat's dragged in. You look like something the cat's dragged in. This would be, if I came in with my hair all a mess and like maybe mud on my arms, I just look a mess. You'd say, wow, you look like something the cat's dragged in. Where have you been? And then we also have, who let the cat out of the bag? This means, who revealed the secret? Did you let the cat out of the bag? I did let the cat out of the bag, I'm sorry. And you might hear people calling other people a copycat. It's quite a childish name. It's what you'd hear at primary school. But you say, you're a copycat. Stop copying me. You're a copycat. So it's a very childish insult to say that someone is copying you. Okay? Yes, we tend to say that cats have 9 lives. That's generally what we imagine, because cats tend to be very lucky. So some of you are asking me about singing and things that are unrelated. Go and do that on my singing channel, not here, okay? Let's keep this focused to English and focused to animals. Okay. Is yank just used for pulling dogs? You can use yank for anything. I could say something. I could say someone yanked my arm, another person yanked my arm. So yes, yank is used for anyone. Copycat is also when someone copies someone's behaviour. So yes, copycat can be used to call, you call anyone a copycat if they copy you in any way. They copy your work, they copy your clothing style. If they just copy something, they're a copycat. But it's a very childish phrase. So adults don't tend to use it because it's what children talk about. So let's have a look at what else I've got on this lovely worksheet. So we have a guinea pig. This is a guinea pig. Isn't that sweet? Little cutie guinea pig. And this is a hamster. So if you didn't know what a hamster looks more like a mouse. A little bit like a mouse. And this is a guinea pig. Hamster, guinea pig. Hamster, guinea pig. Cat. Puppy. Aww. And what are my patrons saying here? So I've got, Anna, I love that you've got no inhibitions. Oh, I do have some inhibitions. I guess I'm just myself here, that's all. At least it seems that way. Well, thank you very much. I'm referring to the noises. Okay. Now, I don't mind making noises. Noises don't embarrass me at all. Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining me, guys. Most of you have stuck with me all the way, 141 of you. How many likes do we have? We have 134 likes as well, so I'm pretty happy with that. Thank you very much. If you are interested in supporting this channel in any way, there are a few ways you can do that. Obviously just by being here and watching the videos on this channel, by giving the videos a thumb up and sharing them with anyone that you think would like them, helps the channel. You can also offer to contribute translations. So if you want this video or any of my videos to be easier for your country folk, your fellow natives of your country, if you want it to be easier for them to understand and learn with these videos, then I need your help to translate them. You can find a link in the description of this video to see all the videos that need titles, descriptions, and subtitles translating. So many of you have already given translations. I've got translations for Arabic, Russian, Chinese, Spanish, French, German. It's incredible. So if you've already contributed translations, thank you so much. But there are hundreds of videos on this channel, so if you're able to offer contributions in that respect, I would be so grateful. The link's in the description of this video to go and do that. If you're able to contribute in another way, in a bigger way, then maybe you would consider becoming one of our patrons and joining our Skype group. There are other awards for patrons as well, and of course what you're doing is helping me to bring English lessons on a regular basis to as many people around the world as possible. So thank you very much to all of my patrons who have already committed to supporting this channel. You guys are amazing. And if you would like to join the Patreon campaign, or at least take a look, the link for that is also in the description of this video. Don't forget, I am on Instagram and Facebook, where you can find a full schedule for this week's classes. So lots of you asking me, when's your next lesson? Go and check out Facebook, check out Instagram. And many of you asking me about the competition that's recently closed. I will be announcing the winner very soon, I promise. I just need to sit down and write all the names down and put them in a hat, and then I'll choose. So at some point this week, I will announce it, I promise. Anyway, that's all from me. I need to go and have some dinner. So thank you for joining me. Lots of love from London. Take care of yourselves. Mwah. Bye-bye.